So you guys, I just got out of my chiropractor's appointment and I had a little bit of time before my flight, so I figured let me go get adjusted before I leave. Inshallah, it'll make me feel better the next 2 days. Let me say this, mashallah, the masseuse that worked on me before my adjustment, mashallah, those hands, mashallah, are hands, they're miracle hands of gold. May Allah bless her hands and may He give her more strength and more blessing in her hand and the heart that guided her to know how to dig deep into the muscle tension and release tension that I've had. I've had massages done before and they're very surface level, even the deep tissue massages, but this girl, mashallah, you could tell her heart was really into like really helping her, you know, her client feel relief, because she really poured her heart and soul into digging deep into like my upper right shoulder and into the tension that was along my spine. I've been in pain for years and I'm still in a little bit of pain, alhamdulillah, but today, like, wow, she really worked on me, and like it was only like 15 minutes, but she really dug deep and she was pinpointing the little pressure points and she was working them, you know. And mashallah, like I'm making so much dua for her. May Allah bless her and may He put barakah in her work and in her hands and in her body, so that she can continue to relieve people's pain and tension. This is my room for the next couple of nights. Pretty nice setup, alhamdulillah. And inshallah, if I get some time within the next couple days, maybe I'll get a chance to go and explore. We'll see. How did they know that I love animal print? My favorite, zebra. So during my ride here, I got into a really good conversation with the Uber driver. And alhamdulillah, every time I take an Uber, I usually get into really fruitful discussions with the drivers. It's amazing that when you actually take the time to listen to people and have sincere conversations with them, how inspiring it is to hear their challenges and their struggles and just to kind of connect with people, you know. And so my Uber driver was this really sweet Hindu Indian guy, and he was just talking about, you know, his life and his challenges, and it was just so inspiring, subhanallah. I was so humbled. And he shared a story about how he used to own like a diamond business here in New York, and how it crashed and he lost like so much money. I think he said $3.8 million, I'm not sure. And how one of his partners was a Muslim guy, who lost 550 grand when it crashed, and how he ended up killing himself. He committed suicide because he lost so much money. And so he was just talking about that story, and I was like, wow, subhanAllah, you know. And he had such strong conviction, you know. And I was telling him, you know, we were just talking about like the power of prayer and things like that. Even though he's Hindu and I'm Muslim, and we connected on the fact that we both had this strong conviction about the power of prayer. But it was just so interesting because he was really, really impacted by the fact that his friend took his own life, although he was a person of faith. So yeah, it was just so humbling. And then he talked about how, you know, he's taking care of his father who's disabled, and he had lost his mother a couple of years ago. As I was saying, he had lost his mother a couple of years ago. And so just subhanAllah, like the struggles of life in general. And it's just so interesting that everyone's going through, you know, at different places in our lives. But, you know, I really, really respected and appreciated his conviction. And it was just so refreshing. We both really connected on that. And like we were talking about the power of prayer and how you got to do your part, you got to struggle, you got to hustle, and then you got to pray, and you got to have faith in God, whatever, you know, your belief system is, but the power of prayer and how real it is. And alhamdulillah, it was just so amazing. It's great having these conversations. So I would urge you to have sincere and genuine conversations with people, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, and just kind of connect with people on a human level. Anyhow, salam. Have a good night, guys. Oh, and on my flight, I was able to catch up on some of my reading. This is a book I started reading months ago, and because I decided to read a number of books all at the same time, I haven't gotten through the whole thing. It's a really, really, really good book. I would recommend you read it. And I was actually reading the section about expressing gratitude, fostering cooperation, connecting with people when I was on the plane. And a lot of these things, like, I already kind of learned from my faith teachings and from life experience in general, and just having a compassionate heart. But then, you know, this author does a really good job of tying it into like research and things of that sort. But this is a really, really good read. I would highly recommend it for anybody that wants to grow as a leader and just wants to grow themselves, and at the same time wants to cultivate compassion in their life. And the power of compassion is a lot more powerful than we give it credit for. So I would say definitely check it out. And on another note, I found out that one of my buddies is going to be here, Ibrahim Ayash. I got a message like while I was in the Uber, so I'm relieved that I'm going to see some familiar faces on here. So hey, shout out to Ibrahim Ayash. And really looking forward to this conference. By the way, I'm here for a conference on Yemen, global humanitarian something. I don't remember the name of it, but I'm really excited about it because there are going to be 5 Nobel Peace Prize laureates that will be speaking, and I got cut off. But there are going to be some UN officials, some NGO experts, and things like that. So inshallah, I'm hoping it's a really, really fruitful conference, and I learn a lot and I take home a lot. I'm going to be speaking to students at Fortson High School, inshallah, next week about the crisis in Yemen. So I'm hoping that this is a really, really fruitful conference, and I get a lot out of it that I can pass on to others, inshallah. Yeah, have a good night, you guys. Wishing you all.